Howdy, folks. Guess what? New tool man in town here. Gonna do a quick tool haul. Been really ripping through the tools and whatnot. And got a few new ones. This little guy right here. This is a Coast rechargeable pen light. Whoops, got it upside down. It is the AR9. Focus in. Hey. Yeah. Anyways. She's a bright little sucker. Probably only about 100 lumens, but man, this thing is nice. We're talking like $30, 20, 30 bucks, depending on where you get it from. Got a little neat charger that goes over the end here. USB. I mean, awesome little pen light. You can see it fits right here in my bibs. It's an awesome deal. Then I picked me up some of the flush cut snap-on pliers. These things are nice. They cut real clean. Electrical work. I'm kind of an electrical, I don't know what you call it. I'm just really fickle about my electrical stuff, and I like nice little pliers to cut. Also picked up the EEC T900 from Snap-on. Tell you what, I mean, the power probe is a great tool. This thing, the biggest thing for me is that the power probe's a great tool and all, but this you can replace this cord. I've literally lost a power probe before due to the fact that I cut it up, so you know, that was kind of a crappy deal. Got it caught in a fan blade. You know, normally you don't have that option to replace them, so you know, it is what it is. Alright, let's see what else here we got. Oh yeah, this little guy right here, the extra long 1/4 inch 88 dual 88. Part number is an FL72. Actually, this one's 72 tooth, if I don't remember right. But I'll tell you what, I mean, you don't really need that much leverage on a 1/4 inch fastener, but if you do, it just makes it a little bit easier to break it loose. You get up to that 13 area. Sometimes there's some 10s that are kind of tight, but I don't know. I felt like I got a pretty good feel with this longer reach. I didn't feel like that I was, you know, I didn't feel like I was going to snap a fastener off, but I could really feel the tension a lot better with the extra length, and I wasn't putting so much fatigue on my forearms. So, you know, I'm pretty sold on this extra long stuff. I ordered in an extra long 3/8 and probably get, I have a fairly long Matco. This one's a CRR 17 LFT, so it's only 17 inches. You can see that's a 1/4 inch, and I think this one's like 16. But I like this Matco. This is an 88, or these 1/2 inch ones here, I think are 88 too as well. But this is a locking flex head. I dig these because they got a detent ball in them. I think they're a good ratchet. I know people say stuff about gear wrench and whatnot like that, but this is a heavy ratchet. It's got a nice feel without the comfort grip. I don't mind their new handles. Back when I bought this, they didn't have. I've had this one for probably about 10 years, but they didn't have the comfort grips. They had some cheesy plastic ones. So, you know, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, yeah. This little guy. Picked up the ST, the Torch 300 from Snap-on. I really dig this. One-handed operation. Push the button back, pull the trigger, right off the button. You see that? You got an adjustable flame. And lower it way down. It's not a flameless, as you can see, so if you're doing heat shrink, probably a little bit. One button shuts it down. This thing's got a really nice grip to it. Let me set it up here. You can see it's pretty stable. You set it down, so if you're doing work in a car, I don't really have to think about it. Set it down, you know. But nice, nice hood. Air compressor's gonna kick on. we're just here screwing around at the shop, you know. Let's see here. Another little bad boy. I really like the rotor ratchets. A lot of guys probably don't, but 3/8 rotor ratchet, snap-on. I've got the 1/4 inch and the 3/8 version. This is a FFCNF 72, and I really like it. Just handy, especially if you're doing, you know, where you got to get into some. Let's say you got a 19 and it's not really something you really need to tighten down too tight. 17 or whatnot like that, and you're working with 1/4 inch already, just flip it over to this. This is an old one, but I really like this torch. This is the Master Appliance Economy torch. And you have to forgive me, but this is my tip on it for doing heat shrink. I was doing some soldering earlier, and this little kit, it comes with some soldering, a tube of soldering, and then you got your, you know, your normal solder tip, another torch tip, and then you got a hot knife kit. I don't really use the hot knife kit, and then you got your little deal here. You can set it on. You set your torch on to cool it down and whatnot like that. Clean your solder off. Put some water on your sponge. I've had this torch for a long time, and it works great. Probably close to 15 years. EI 20K Master Appliance. It's a good little torch. Let me show you. You just pick it up here like this. Turn it on. I don't want to strike it. I just use and then it just that'll heat it up. You get it going on both sides. But you can see how fast it heated up there, but it gets that flame really going in there. But this is almost perfect for when you're doing heat shrink on the dash, and it's really small and compact. You can see in my hand, nice and compact. So when you're in there doing those small soldering jobs where you're really trying to get in there close and whatnot, you know, and not burn anything. This doesn't give off a super massive amount of heat with this torch here, and this is a flameless one. So I kind of tend to stay away from using this one when I get in some closer jobs. You know, you can just get in there with this so much easier, and you know, kind of just get that heat shrink about perfect. So yeah, nice little torch. I mean, like I said, I've had it for about 20 years. That you can see I've dropped it a few times, but it hasn't never cracked all the way through. Still holds propane. You know, you see how it starts up. I gave like $75 for this thing a long time ago. So I don't know if they're still around, but really been a good unit. Let's shut it off here, and then it shuts down pretty quick. You see that? So yeah. I don't have my toolbox up here at the shop yet. Otherwise, we'd probably do a toolbox tour. But I just thought I'd go over. I bought several things here lately, and been kind of getting my toolbox back up to where it needs to be and whatnot. And seen a lot of videos out there from guys and whatnot. Thought, you know, it'd be cool if I just put out a video. I think guys like that. See that stuff. What else we got here? Ooh, yeah. This little guy right here. I'll tell you what, for you guys that do electrical and solder and whatnot, this is a Lyle tool. I think I bought this off the Matco truck. But I'll tell you what, these things right here, they're kind of like a helping hand, but they're not too expensive. It's got a magnet. Let me use my ratchet here, but this magnetic. So if you're in a car doing a trunk hood, or you know, trunk, let's say you got a light for the third brake light that's disconnected and you got to solder it back and forth. You should be soldering everything, in my opinion, but I don't know, some guys have different you know, they like to do heat shrink butt connectors. I'm kind of a guy that likes to solder. I believe that unless it's in a spot where it's probably conducive to a lot of heat, it's probably not as advantageous to solder something in that area, maybe a heat shrink butt connector, but you know, otherwise, this right here, I'll tell you what, I don't think there's any better tool to have as a mechanic, especially for doing electrical. Even if you're doing heat shrink butt connectors, you can literally find a place for that. These things rotate. They come off, you know, like I said, it's got a magnetic base. The part number on this little guy here is a WH500 from Matco. I'm pretty sure the Lyle number is close to the same lines. I can't remember what they are, like 15, 20 bucks. Probably one of the best tools I've ever bought, no. Let's see here. Other than basic stuff, you know, I really don't have anything in this bucket. All my new stuff is at my house. Tell you what, let's just talk about screwdrivers really quick. You know, I got a lot of snap-on ratchets. Not biased to one or the other, but these Matco screwdrivers, I love them. This one, of course, is an older screwdriver. Let's see here. I did break one. I broke my number 2 Phillips. So this is the new style handles, but this one's been around forever. I mean, you can see it's greasy, and you know, I try to clean it up a little bit. I take pretty good care of my tools, but this is the new handle. I like the new handle just as much as I do the old ones. I like how they kind of change the grip or the pads here so that they're a little bit smaller. But these Matco screwdrivers, I'm sold on them. I really do like them. I've tried the snap-ons, tried the Max. I really dig these. I think you got the best bite out of them. They really grip into a fastener. They are strong. I seen a video of these things being put in a vise and cranked back like that, and it picked the whole table up. Now, I'm not going to say, you know, one thing bad or another, but I'll tell you what the other thing is. If you put these things in your tool cart, and they have the, sorry about all the text messages. Guess I'm popular tonight. You put these in a tool cart. Let's see here, just focuses in here. It says number 2 Phillips on that. I don't know if you can see that here. Come on, focus. Anyways, it's the number 2 is in here on this tip. I like that because if you're picking it up like that, you see the number 2, and you can pull it right out fast. They didn't used to have them on there, and so that's a new feature, and I really like that. Otherwise, they just had them right here on the handle, and then they had them on the. They just had the part number on the shank. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh boy! Oh boy! We're gonna zoom all the way in now. Sorry about that. They have the part number on the shank or the tank or the tool or the blade itself. So yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have in here? Oh, I do have an older style Matco ratchet. I'll tell you what another thing is I picked these screwdrivers up here the other day. Just wanted a set that I could just bang on. Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh. There's a 2-piece set. I don't even have a part number for these things, guys, but you can see the handle goes all the way through, and these things are thick. I mean, these are thick. This is a 16-inch. No, this is a 6-inch, 5 16 flat blade. Woo! But they're not really fancy handled, but they have the striking cap on them. They are literally all the way through. You can see them on the handle. The blade goes all the way through the handle. I really dig this screwdriver for, you know, just doing some simple prying, and the blade, I actually used it today on a seat. The seat blade, or the seat adjustment on the side of a 2003 GMC Sonoma. The handle broke on it, and this thing fit in there perfectly, and I could reach in there and twist that and adjust it. So that was kind of cool. I'm going to try to do a little more tool reviews now and then. Just gonna get this thing started, see what happens, you know. You know, see what's going on here. I'm working in the shop. I got a pretty decent toolbox and whatnot like that. So check back in with me, and we'll go over some new stuff. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like this, click subscribe. If you got any comments or questions, put them in there down below. Ring the bell if you want to see me update. I also do a lot of competitive shooting, which is going to be a lot of my time taken up here pretty soon. Pretty fun channel. Just trying to get my name out there a little bit and see what people think, and let me know. Have a good night.